with the very latest information that you've got on Cyclone Yasi, still heading for a direct hit on Cairns late tomorrow night?
Yes, it is. Heading directly for Cairns, and tomorrow morning we're expecting that we'll pass over warmer water and will actually build in intensity so that it's an upper Category 4. At this stage it'll cross the land sometime between 9 o'clock tomorrow night and 3 o'clock on Thursday morning. And the most worrying thing about it is that there's a very big surge happening with us, a tidal surge that could be 2.7 metres above the highest astrological tide.
And yet, looking at Cairns, you're on the esplanade, it all seems very calm.
If we didn't have all those forecasts from the Bureau of Meteorology, we wouldn't realise that there's a massive system swirling around in the Coral Sea and just scaring everyone to death.
How well prepared are people for what's coming?
Look, we're as well prepared as we can be, but a cyclone this size hasn't hit this area in most people's lifetime. And we certainly haven't had one with such a big storm surge that will arise from those very, very destructive winds that will start about midday tomorrow. So we'll be battered with winds for probably 10 hours or so. Then the cyclone will pass over the land, and then we'll continue to be battered by winds and of course have rain, as well as all of that storm surge water that will be in all the low-lying areas.
Take us through exactly what a storm surge of that magnitude will mean.
Well, look, it's pretty hard. I mean, we're listening to the experts telling us that the water will actually come in before the cyclone makes landfall, and it will actually sort of be forced along into the low-lying areas and inland as far as it would go, being several metres high. So that obviously is going to inundate quite a lot of houses. We're actually asked more than 30,000 people to evacuate. That's all those low-lying areas from Port Douglas, the northern beaches of Cairns, and right down to Branston Beach near Innisfail. People have been asked to leave and to go and stay with relatives, family or friends they may have who live in some of the hillside areas of Cairns. And we'll be opening tomorrow morning some evacuation centres for those people who don't have anywhere to stay.
I understand that those people have been told to move before tomorrow morning, or at least before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. After that, it's likely to be too difficult to move around?
That's right. We don't want people trying to move with gale force winds, and so our evacuation centres are opening at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and we're hoping that people will all move in that time and be well and truly inside shelter sort of by 8 or 9 o'clock, and really ready to batten down for the whole day with those winds that we know are coming.
Mayor, 30,000 people is an enormous number of people. Has the process already begun? Are people heeding the warnings?
It's huge, yes. People have already been moving today. Some of them have moved up onto the Atherton tablelands in behind Cairns. Others, as I said, are staying with friends. Everyone's been in the shops making sure that they've got a supply of non-perishable food. Their batteries, we're assuming that the power will go off with that amount of wind, and the soil is really wet and soggy from what's been a very wet season, so the trees are going to go over, the power lines will go down, and people will be relying on radio to get information.
How rattled are the locals?
I don't know that people are rattled. I think there's a bit of fear and trepidation there. They certainly, as I said, just the whole vision that we get on television with Australia, with this huge mass coming towards it, is enough to put fear in almost everyone. We're trying to calm people down and saying, don't panic. You just need to make sure that you're well prepared and that you are inside and that you're away from any of the storm surge.
Of course, it's Chinese New Year as well. You've got something like 10,000 visitors in the area over the next week or so. How well prepared are they?
Well, that's right. We had a fabulous New Year festival on Saturday, and lots of celebrations going on there, and people visiting from Shanghai and from Guangdong in southern China. All of the hotels are really up to speed on the cyclone warnings, and they'll be making sure that people don't venture out tomorrow. Most of our businesses will actually close down tomorrow, and the main priority is for people to be with their families and in the safety of their homes, which is where they're least likely to be hurt.
What about the evacuations of the hospitals? I know certainly Cairns Hospital was being evacuated tonight with help from the military. Has that gone smoothly? Is that complete?
That's right. The planes started at 7 o'clock tonight. I think about 11 planes all up, and they're evacuating patients to Brisbane. The Cairns-based hospital is actually on the Esplanade. People could have been taken up to the first floor, but all of the services are on the ground floor, and they wouldn't have been able to provide the high level of care that's needed for those patients. Also, anyone who's been living in any of the sort of nursing homes that are anywhere near the storm surge have also been relocated. So it's been a massive logistics effort today. We will need to feed all those people who are in the evacuation centres tomorrow and ensure that they're all registered and accounted for. So this just requires the highest level of cooperation. So today we've been meeting with the State Disaster Group, with the Premier on teleconference in Brisbane, our district broader state government group, and then of course my local group that I head up, the council group, that really needs to be there as the first line of response.
Mayor, if this is as bad as expected, with the hospital evacuated, what are the facilities for medical care?
The Queensland Health has actually set up an alternative emergency base in the southern part of Cairns in an area that's above flood level. So that will be operating at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And of course we still have a lot of doctors around Cairns, and I'm quite sure that they'll come to the fore and that everyone will be there sort of willing to help in whatever way they can if there are any emergency cases.
Of course, Queensland's still recovering from the floods. From a personal perspective, people must be extremely weary of disasters. Personally, how nervous, how anxious are you about what lies ahead over the next 24, 48 hours?
Look, it's really the last thing that we wanted. I mean, Queensland, central and southern Queensland have just had the tragedy of the floods, and we just didn't want or need this. But it's happening, and we're just going to have to deal with it. And so certainly Cairns has also had been doing it tough over the past couple of years economically. We were just getting back on our feet and feeling really confident in the tourism industry and in our other industries as well. So this will be a big setback if we end up getting a lot of damage, as is predicted at the moment.
Well, a true case of plan for the worst but hope for the best. All the very best, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.